Nickelodeon, home to some of the most legendary cartoons of all time, shows that define childhoods, shows we still quote today. And then there are the shows that just disappeared. Take El Tigre, The Adventures of Manny Rivera, a show that was completely insane in the best way possible. A kid stuck between being a superhero and a supervillain. Yeah, sign me up. Manny was basically your average kid, except for the part where he could turn into a cat-themed vigilante. Oh, and his dad was a hero. His grandpa was a villain, and he was constantly being pushed back and forth between good and evil. This show was bold, hilarious, and totally unique. But like many great things on Nickelodeon, it didn't last. So, what happened? Manny Rivera, just your average teenager, right? Wrong. While every kid his age is worried about homework and acne, Manny's got two things on his plate: a superhero dad and a villain grandpa. Yikes. So what's a kid to do when his dad's a hero and his grandpa's a villain? Easy. Be both. Manny Rivera is basically the world's first reluctant hero villain, and let me tell you, he is just as confused as the rest of us. Manny's powers include super strength, agility, and being able to turn into a cat-themed hero. But let's be real, the guy's basically a walking disaster. He gets in way more trouble than he solves. Seriously, how do you save the world when you're still figuring out what you want to be for Halloween? The show nailed the balance between epic action and pure comedy. It's like if Spider-Man and The Simpsons had a love child, who wore a cool costume and could punch stuff. Plus, it had that amazing comic book style that made everything look 10 times cooler. Alright, so Manny doesn't just live in any old town, he lives in Miracle City. And in case the name didn't give it away, this place is anything but a miracle. Imagine Gotham City if it had constant mariachi music and a 2-for-1 villain special every Tuesday. That's Miracle City. And for Manny, it's the perfect place to be a hero. Or a villain. Now, let's talk about crime in Miracle City, because here, it's basically a sport. We've got luchador bank robbers, undead guitarists, and evil grandmas out here causing mayhem. And Manny? Well, he's kinda into it. I mean, look at him. This kid has way too much fun getting into trouble. And can you blame him? His grandpa, Fuma Loco, is practically handing him a get-out-of-jail-free card every other day, while his dad, White Pantera, is just desperately trying to keep him on the straight and narrow. And the villains? Oh, they don't just commit crimes, they put on a show. We've got Sartana of the Dead, who's basically an undead rock star, Django of the Dead, who's like if Dracula had a cowboy phase, and Dr. Chipotle Jr., a tiny evil genius who probably still has to ask permission to stay up past 9 PM. Seriously, every bad guy in this show looks like they're auditioning for the most dramatic entrance ever award, and honestly, I respect it. But here's the thing, when your entire city is built on crime, choosing between good and evil isn't exactly easy. It's like being in a family of world-class chefs, but you kinda want to be a food critic instead. Manny's stuck between two worlds. His dad wants him to be a hero, but his grandpa? He's out here encouraging crime like it's an after-school hobby. No wonder Manny can't decide. But what makes El Tigre so unique? This world is alive. It's bright, ridiculous, and completely out of control. And Manny? He's got the ultimate playground to figure out who he really wants to be, whether he likes it or not. Every hero needs a sidekick, but Freda Suarez, she's more like a full-time chaos generator. She's the kind of friend who sees a do not enter sign and takes it as a challenge. If Manny's caught between good and evil, Freda's already 5 steps ahead, laughing as everything explodes behind her. But she's not just about causing trouble. Okay, she is, but she's also Manny's biggest supporter. No matter what crazy situation they end up in, she's right there, pushing him to be fearless or just making sure they both go down together. And honestly, that's what makes her the perfect best friend. Freda is loud, unpredictable, and absolutely unforgettable. Without her, El Tigre wouldn't be half as fun. She's the kind of best friend we all need, just maybe from a distance. Even if you don't remember El Tigre's story, you definitely remember how it looked. This show didn't just have a style, it owned it. With its bold outlines, exaggerated expressions, and wild action shots, it felt like a comic book had exploded onto the screen. But what made it truly special? The way it blended Mexican culture, lucha libre energy, and classic superhero storytelling into something completely fresh. The world of Miracle City is bursting with personality. Everything is over the top, from the towering villains to the chaotic streets. Every frame looks like it could be slapped onto a comic book cover. The show was created by Jorge R. Gutierrez, the same guy behind the Book of Life, and you can see his love for Mexican folklore and visual storytelling all over El Tigre. It's the kind of art style that makes you wish more cartoons had this level of creativity. When El Tigre, The Adventures of Manny Rivera premiered in 2007, it had everything going for it. Critically acclaimed creators, a unique visual style, and a prime spot on Nickelodeon. Fans loved its high-energy action, hilarious characters, and the way it blended superhero tropes with Mexican culture. So what happened? Why did a show this creative, this good, only last one season? Well, the short answer? Nickelodeon didn't know what to do with it. The network was shifting towards broader, more mainstream cartoons, and El Tigre's unique identity made it harder to market. Despite strong ratings and an Emmy win, the show didn't get the long-term support it needed. To make things even weirder, the finale let fans vote on whether Manny should choose to be a hero or a villain. And because the internet is the internet, fans picked the villain ending. But thankfully, creator Jorge R. Gutierrez stepped in and decided the hero ending was canon, giving Manny a shot at redemption in his final moments. It was a short but legendary run, and while El Tigre didn't get the same longevity as some Nickelodeon classics, its impact still lives on. Even though El Tigre only lasted one season, its influence can still be seen today. It paved the way for more creator-driven Latino representation in animation, and Jorge R. Gutierrez went on to create The Book of Life and Maya and the Three, proving that his unique storytelling wasn't just a one-time thing. Fans still remember El Tigre fondly, and even though we never got a second season, the show left a lasting mark on Nickelodeon history. So what do you think? Did El Tigre deserve more love? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you love deep dives into forgotten cartoons, make sure to subscribe. We've got plenty more nostalgia coming your way.